Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Lee, and I'm also the creator and founder of Untitled LLC, and I am coming to you guys with my update video from my trip to DR. So as you guys know, recently in recent videos, I was talking about going to DR for the first time, and oh my goodness, the trip was freaking amazing, y'all. Like, the trip was just, it was so dope. I'm actually planning to go back very soon. I just don't know when, probably for the next couple months or whatever, but I'm definitely taking my butt back there. So today's video is all about, do I have it upside down? Ooh, that is so disrespectful. See it again. So today's video is about the Dominican Republic. Yay! Alright, so before we get started, I do have to go over some Andre Rose LLC updates, as you know. So right now, we're taking a brief vacation as I was on vacation from Andre Rose LLC, because I just want to regroup. You know, I'm just trying to get back to my norm here because, like, that whole week was just so dope. Like, I didn't even sleep. I didn't sleep. Like, it was so popular. Like, every day we had, like, an activity to do. So it's like, I didn't sleep. So I'm trying to get back to my norm here over in America. So I'm just trying to pretty much get everything back together. So I did announce on my Instagram pages, both my Andre Rose LLC page and also Visions _ by H period Christina with 2 A's. Yes. I always forget my Instagram names. It's so bad because I have so many social media handles. It's ridiculous. But I do plan on reopening the shop probably like the second week. Maybe I might push it to the third week of May just so I can get everything together, you know, kind of fall back into the flow of everything. So I give my time to kind of process everything and get back to work and all this other stuff. And I already see my kids. My kids, they ran over to me as soon as I walked in the door, as soon as they actually came from school, because my mom kept them the night before. So as soon as I opened that front door, those kids came charging at me. So I already got into the routine of getting back to my norm with my kids. So that's already accomplished. I already, you know, got back into my norm with that. But as far as like my work, I mean, that's going to be easy for me. Like, work ain't about nothing. My business ain't about nothing. When you a focused person and you know what you're doing, you're already 10 steps ahead of the game. You feel me? So at the end of the day, I'm ready to go back, for a little while, and then I'm ready to escape again, But this time I'm actually going to bring my kids this time because I don't want to have that responsibility of somebody having to watch them. And plus, it'll be their first out of the country trip anyway. So, again, back to Andre Rose LLC. We will be reopening back up in a couple of weeks, which is fantastic. I will be looking at vendors for new merch. I will be looking at different things and aspects, especially for our cosmetics line now that it is now May. I am trying to release a couple of new things on our cosmetics line because it's been a minute now, and I started this like months ago, but I've never completed it. So we'll get into that as the weeks go by, but I just wanted to announce that right now we're taking a temporary vacation. So I did pull the website like the week that I was leaving to go to DR. So don't miss us too much. We're going to be back very soon. But there is so much to cover. Oh my goodness. My cute little DR cup, So listen. This was my first plane ride in 17 years. So you could imagine the stuff, the fear that I had in my heart sitting in that plane. You just have no idea how scared. Sorry, look at my cat. No idea how scary it was when I got into the airport. My anxiety was just like on 1,000. Like, it was just so bad. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go from top to bottom from the time that I got there to the time that I leave. I'm covering different topics of DR, so it's probably gonna be like a 15-minute video, nothing too long. So basically, when I got to the airport, I saw the plane in the window. I saw the plane in the window. So when I walked up, like once we went through like the check-in, that was just like something else. Like, it's like a jungle up in there. Like, why? I don't understand why they are so rough. Why are they so rough with people? Like, I understand y'all trying to get people in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. I understand that. But my goodness, like, and then some of them are rude. I'm like, hold up. First of all, you're not talking to me like that. And then when they finally checked us in, the guy took my suitcase. Mind you, like, I got mad stuff. I got sensitive things in there that can break. And my dude threw the freaking suitcase like, like right on the belt of the, like right behind the register or whatever they want to call that countertop, whatever. I said, yo, I said, can you not do that? Like, I'm sitting here yelling at the guy, like, yo, I need you to be gentle with my suitcase. Like, I need you not to throw my suitcase like that because I got sensitive stuff in there. So, you know, I'm sorry, but the process at the airport, I understand it's supposed to be organized and it's supposed to help, you know, with all the customers coming through or whatever and the travelers coming. Bro, they need to fix that system like really bad because I was ready to pop off on some of these people in the airport. I'm like, dog, I need you to chill, bro. Like, I need you to chill. Like, don't look at me like that. Don't speak to me like that. Oh, it's a hot ass mess. Like, come on. Like, anyway. So when we finally got through there, we went through TSA. That was fun. So, you know, you had to like, because I decided to wear sneakers that day. I had to take my shoes off. I had to take everything off. Like, it was just like, what is this? Like, I feel like I'm in jail. Like, I had to take everything off. But I was good. So I went through the little monitor. My friend, she went through the monitor. We was all good to go. We was Gucci. So once we went through everything and got through the gate, got to our gate, I looked to the left. And mind you, you know, it got that big window on the left. I looked to the left and I saw the big nose of the plane just sitting there in the window. So I'm just like, oh my God, look how big that plane is. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my. Like, that's all I could think about. Like, my anxiety was so effing bad. Like, it was just like, oh my God. Like, I'm sitting here trying to be cool and stuff, you know. I'm sitting here trying to be gangster and whatever. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, I got this. Yeah, I got this. Mind you, we get on the plane. Now, I remember watching a video on YouTube, and I forgot the girl's name, but she gave some really good advice. She was like, when you get on the plane, just look down and just keep, you know, just make sure you look for your seat, but look down because it looks far. I didn't look down. I looked up, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, it was so crazy. I'm like, I am so scared to like even sit down right now. Like, I was shaking as I was like this as I was walking. So I finally get to the seats. So I actually picked the seats when I was talking to my friend on the phone. I was telling her like, okay, do you want to sit by the window? Like, you can sit by the window on the way up and on the way back. I'll probably have enough, you know, enough bravery to sit by the window. This is not what happened. So when I actually looked at the tickets and I looked at the seats, I booked myself for the window seat like a dummy. I don't know what happened, but of course I booked myself because we had a connecting flight. So the first flight ended in Charlotte, and then that flight from Charlotte took us to Punta Cana. So I'm sitting there like, wow. So I really just booked myself for the window. So of course she offered to switch and say, oh, I'll sit by the window and you can sit on the inside. So I was like, you know what? This is what we're not going to do. I'm just going to keep my window seat because this is how you face your fear. So we'll talk about fearlessness. Like, you have to face your fear. I sat my behind right by that window and I kept the shade open. I shut it for the first 10 minutes of takeoff. And once we was chilling in that air for a little bit, I opened the window and I looked outside, and long and behold, we was sitting up in the clouds. I'm like, oh my God, we're in the clouds. And I just looked outside and it was beautiful. I'm like, what is so scary? I think it's because of probably like what you hear in the news, and then like if you like know someone who passed from like a plane crash, or 9/11 happened and you're just scared. But I mean, they have a lot of security now where that shouldn't happen, but still, because you haven't been on a plane, it's just like, wow, like I'm scared. So I was okay because, you know what, I was just telling someone, I forgot who I was talking to, but my friend's mom. I told her, I said, the reason why I felt so good sitting on that plane was because the pilot is the one that made me feel comfortable, because he was so chill. Like, he was like a chill pilot. Both pilots, I think the second flight coming back home, because we had a straight flight coming back home, there was a co-pilot and a pilot. So, and they were mad cool. So they were, all three of them, they were super chill. Like, it was just a chill ride. You know what I mean? So I think that's what really got me through the first flight. The second flight, we get to Charlotte. We literally get off of the plane and we get to our gate and they're literally loading back up the people into the plane. I'm like, oh my God, we don't even get to sit. So not only do we get there, like we got there on time, but we're like up and we're ready to jump back on the second plane. So I'm like, mind you, I did like all these videos. In between the time, I'm going to see if I can connect them to this actual video so you guys can see when I was in the airport and I'm like, oh, we're about to go to Punta Cana. We're about to go to Punta Cana. We're about to go to Punta Cana. Like, I was going with the video. But we jumped right on that plane, and that flight was 3 hours. So the first flight was like an hour and a half and some change, maybe into 2 hours, but it wasn't too long. But this one was like 3 hours. So I was like, I'm about to sleep this whole flight because I'm not about to be looking outside. So here we go again with the seats. So we get into the connecting flight. So I'm looking at the tickets for the seats. And I look at my friend Adrienne and I said, so I sat here and got the same seat, right? I'm right by the window again. So I booked myself for the window instead of the middle. So it was the same thing. Like, I had to tell myself again, like, okay, you're almost there. Like, we're almost there. Like, we're almost to Punta Cana. So I was kind of hyping it up a little bit. So I was sitting by the window, and again, the shade was closed. And I said, you know what? I got to face my fear. So what I did was I pulled open that shade, and once we was in the air, it felt so good. It was so chill. The pilot, I want to say, like, this ride was a little bit more chill because they actually offered you water and pretzels versus the first flight. The first flight, he offered nothing, but the pilot was mad chill. So that's how I was just like, it's completely different coming from Philly and going into Charlotte, So but this one was a little rocky though. Like, this flight was a little rocky because the plane was shaking a little bit, and I'm like, oh nah, bro, like, you cannot be shaking. You can't do that. No, you cannot do that. But we ended up being, everything was good. The plane was cool. Everything was safe. And we finally landed into Punta Cana. When I literally tell you, like, I seen like the landscape below, I was like, we're here. I was hyping it. I was like, we're here. So It was just so dope. But what I will tell you though, they real strict over there. They is real strict over there. Okay. When I literally tell you that security is tight, I mean security is tight, boy. I mean it's tight, boy. So as soon as we landed, we had to check in through immigration. Was it immigration or TSA? I don't know. Same thing. I don't know. Whatever. So we landed about like 2:55, like 3 o'clock, which was the flight time we were supposed to land. So we get there and we have to go in this long line just to get through immigration. So we get to this long line, and I mean, it was a big maze. They have self-serve kiosks, which we could have went to, but you know, this is our first time like coming out internationally. And I'm like, well, not for Adrienne. She's been experienced. But me, it's my first time. I'm not sitting at no kiosk getting lost. So we went through this long line. It was like a whole maybe half an hour, almost 45 minutes before we got to the person. And they just as nasty as Philadelphia. They just be sitting there trying to rush you through, which I get it. It's your job. You're supposed to do that. But, mira, you're not about to sit here and start talking to me any kind of way. Because I'm not doing that with you. Okay? I'm not doing that with you. So, you know, you got to give them the kind of tone that you want. So I got respect I got respect the whole trip. Period. But anyway, so once we went through there, we had to go and change our currency. So I had brought money in American dollars from when I deposited it withdrew it from the airport in Philly. No, was it Charlotte? I think it was Charlotte. No, it wasn't Charlotte. It was Philly. It was Philly. So when I withdrew the money from Philly, when we got to the airport over in Punta Cana, I went to the currency desk and I changed my money into the currency. Let me say, they got some dope money. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all knew about the money and stuff like that, you know, like history books and things like that. But the money is super dope and colorful. I'm like, why can't we have colorful money except for green? Like, that is so plain and basic. It's basic. But they are so friendly. Like, they are so welcoming. Like, the guy saw me and my friend with, like, our millions of suitcases. Like, we had, like, 7, I think, in total. I don't remember. But it was a whole bunch of suitcases. The guy, like, came over and he, like, immediately, like, threw our suitcases onto the little push cart thing. And then we changed the money for the currency. So at first I was confused because I'm like, well, what's the value? How do you even know how much pesos you have? And all, it's just weird. I don't know. It's just weird to me. So the pesos, like for instance, like 500 pesos in the Dominican Republic here in US dollars is $8. Believe it or not. So if you have a little less than 500 peso, you only have like a few dollars. So it's like you can have a 200 peso and a 100 peso, and that's like $3, maybe 4. I don't know. But it's weird. But, you know, after being there for like 7 days, like I kind of got it down to a T now. So, but when I first got there, I'm like, what the heck is that? What is that? What? At what? And then the guy that was standing next to me, he was like, make sure you get like $47 or something. And I'm like, what? This is so foreign. Like, oh my God, my head was spinning. I'm like, what is what? What? So after that, we get around. I'm like so anxious because remember, I went there to go see my boyfriend. So he was like there. Like, he's texting me because I had no service when I first got there. Like, their internet sucks out there. It sucks really bad. Unless you get like a hot box. Oh my God. I'm thinking about like smoking hot box. A hotspot box. A hotspot box. Or like you have something called Claro. As one of the YouTubers on here mentioned, his name is J-Rod, and I follow him like faithfully every time he uploads a video. So shout out to J-Rod, because he got me prepared. He doesn't even know. He got me prepared to come out there. So, whatchamacallit? So once I got past the currency, now we're like going around a second thing of security. I'm like, dang, like this is a lot just to get out the airport. So we finally leave and we get to the front after going through like this maze, and I saw my boyfriend in the corner. He was like, and I was like, I was so happy and excited because it was just like, I don't know. I never thought that I would sit there and go across the country. Like this was like some crazy wild boy kind of adventure. I guess they'll say wild girl, some girl, but this was like a crazy adventure that I never thought that I would sit there and do. And there was long and behold, there was my boyfriend in the corner, and I'm like, oh my God, like that's him. And let me tell y'all, he is, whoo, them Dominican men out there. Oh my. When I literally tell you, like, because I didn't know what to expect. I did not know what to expect. I did not know if I was going to walk into some BS, like he was going to be a catfish. I didn't know if he was going to be real short. I didn't know. Like, I'm not a judgmental person, so I don't want y'all to think that. But, you know, like when you kind of have like a kind of like a clue or an expectation of how someone looks or whatever. First of all, when he walked up, he's definitely taller than, well, of course he's taller than me. I'm short. But he was a perfect height. And I was like, oh my God, he is tall. Oh, he's not short. Because that's all I kept thinking about. Like, maybe is he short? Maybe is he not short? Like, is he tall? Because he wasn't really sure. Because, you know, they don't go over that stuff with certain, you know, certain people over there. They just don't go over those things. So he was just like I'm tall, but I'm not that tall. And I'm thinking like, okay, so maybe he's like 5'4". No, he's way past 5'4". He's way past 5'5" and 5'6" for sure. So when you guys go on my social media handles, I do have pictures of us there. So you can clearly see that he is taller than me. I'm like up to his chin. Like my head is like up to his chin. So you guys can clearly see us on my social media handles, which is in my bio. So if you guys want to be a little nosy, you guys can, because I do have them up there. But once we left there, I saw him in the corner, but he couldn't cross in because of how the airport is. So I actually met him over where I was getting my car rental. So me and Adrian decided to get a car rental because we're not familiar like with the taxi prices and things like that. And we're just not, you know, I don't want to have somebody take me places where I can just jump in a car and just go, you know, and navigate around and, you know, get us to A and B, you know. So I was just like, we'll do a car, just so we can go when we want to go instead of having to wait for somebody in this heat. So, and it was hot as hell out there. Philly was 62 degrees when we left in the morning. We got there at 3 o'clock, basically. It was 88 degrees. My butt was sweating. I went from being cold in the morning to my butt sweating in like 2 minutes as soon as I got off the plane. It was hot out there. So we go in, we get our car rental, and we go over to our villa. So mind you, this is my first time driving in the DR. So J-Rod, once again, representing J-Rod, mentioning J-Rod. He mentioned in one of his videos that the roads out there were like extremely like bad. And you know how some people just say stuff like that and then they kind of like freak you out a little bit and you're like, nah, I ain't gonna. Man, let me tell you, over here in New Jersey, there's a place called Camden, because I know people from a different states will probably be watching my video. So there's a place in New Jersey called Camden, and they're notorious for having potholes. They have a whole bunch of potholes. And if you go to Philly, It's the same thing. Like, they're notorious for having potholes and speed bumps. So basically, the first drive through DR, first of all, it's a mix of New Jersey, Philly, and Camden in New Jersey. There's a whole bunch of roundabouts. So it reminded me of Seaside. So there's a whole bunch of roundabouts. Then there's a whole bunch of unknown speed bumps in the road, because out there they are notorious for riding their little cute little bikes out there, little motorbikes. That's like you having a nice whip, the motorbikes. So they got a whole bunch of unknown speed bumps that you will not see in the road. So you literally have to be sitting up on your steering wheel, making sure you staring straight at that road, because you are going to run over a speed bump and don't even know it. And then your car goes boom, boom. Dog, that happened to me right away as soon as we was on our way to the villa. And like, it was so funny because my boyfriend was in the back seat and Adrian was in the passenger seat. This guy was holding on to the handle like a grandma. He was like this. I felt so bad because this is like my first time meeting him in person and he's holding on to the handle. Like, that is embarrassing. Anybody who holds on to the handle, that means that you're driving too fast or too reckless. I'm like, look, this is new. This is nueva. This is new to me. This is new to me. Like, I don't know, like, what to expect. And then there's these deep potholes. I'm like, oh my God, this is like Philly. This is ridiculous. So just a word of advice. I would recommend to listen to J-Rod, but do not be afraid to drive out there. You got to have some skill, though, because you got to watch out for the motorists. So they also don't believe in red lights. No red lights. So if you sit at a red light and you literally sit at the red light, how you do over here in the United States, they will beep at you. They beeped at me. I'm like, it's a red light. What's the problem? So if you don't move, what they'll do is they'll go around you and get in the front. I'm like, you just ran the red light, what? And then they're like, go, 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 go. And I'm like, are we going to get a ticket? Are we going to get a ticket for that? See, in the United States, see, we can't do that there. See, there we get a whole ticket. We can't do that. So, you know, it's real. Oh my God. It's real different out there. So then there's another red light that actually has a countdown ticker. A countdown ticker, bro. That's what you see on the side of the road here. You know, for the crosswalk, they got the little ticker. No, this ticker is on the light. So there's a red light with a ticker, and then there's a red light with no ticker. And the red light with the ticker, you have to stop. But for the red light with no ticker, people be flying through there. Like, what's the difference? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. But they be flying, y'all. Whoo, they be out on them cars, okay? Then, oh my goodness. So just imagine if you're doing the speed. Their speed limit is in kilometers. Kilometers. I'm like, what kilometer am I supposed to be going? So when I'm driving, because we had a Kia, I think it was a Kia Sportage or whatever. It was a cute little car. It was all white, cute little car, you know. I'm looking at this stupid dial thing, and it's just saying, like, kilometers. And I'm like, what kilometers am I going? Like, I don't even know what kilometers I'm supposed to be going on this road, because they got, like, 2 different numbers on the sign. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm bound to get a ticket out here because I'm probably going to be flying out here and don't even know it. It's so bad. It's so bad. So I'm like, see, over in the States, we don't do that. We have the speed limit mile per hour. But over there, it's measured in kilometers, and that's confusing. And that's why people be speeding around you. So they don't, it's like real different. I don't know. It's like real different. And then if you're driving slow as hell, they will sit there and, excuse me, cut into traffic to get around you. Disrespectful. You do that here, and I'm talking about a single line, y'all, not the double line where you can cross. I'm talking about the single line, y'all. They will cross over that ish and go over into your lane again. I mean, in front of you. It's ridiculous. It's like you'll have so much bad road rage. It's ridiculous there. And then the cars, when they drive, like they drive so close to each other, especially like when they're turning into like a small, because where we were at, there was this long road, but it was like real tight. So people are literally like right here driving right next to. I'm like, oh my God, please don't hit my rental. Please don't hit my rental because I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. Don't hit me. And it's like they are so skilled to where they don't hit you, and they're like super close. Like I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird, but I thought it was pretty cool. I'm like, wow, like the driving is different here. But if you're skilled and you've been driving in Philly and Camden and you know how to navigate to Seaside, you know, all the roundabouts, on the third roundabout, you will be okay driving out there, y'all. So I do advise, don't be afraid to drive out in DRs. It's not as bad, but you got to pay attention for sure. You got to pay attention. So we get to our villa. So we're going to go ahead and speed up a little bit because I'm already on 30 minutes. We get to our villa and we get the keys or whatever. And I have a video with that too. I might be able to insert it into this video. I'll see what I can do. But we get to our villa. It is gorgeous. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Upstairs was a living room with a TV. Downstairs we had the nice little couch area, excuse me, attached to the kitchen. And then right next to the living room, excuse me, was the balcony where they had the nice little chairs, and we had the overview of the pool. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm doing. Ooh, my throat getting dry. But we had the overview of the pool. Oh. My God, I'm so sorry. My throat got dry telling that story about the driving, and it drove my spit to dry up. So anyway, so we had the nice little overview of the pool when you go out into the balcony. Sorry, y'all, my eyes leaking now because of that. Excuse me. So when you go out into the balcony, you get to see like the overview of the pool. You go upstairs to the living room area with the TV, and you open the door. You got the grill upstairs. So we actually did take one of the days and we did grill up there. So we pretty much used the house, like, you know, every little piece of it. We sat outside on the balcony, you know, we went to the pool. And it was a real nice stay, and I'm definitely thinking about possibly like renting something like that again, because that was honestly worth the money, because it was like a whole house, and for the price that we got it for, excuse me, it actually worked out, because we actually got it during COVID time, like when it was real high COVID, towards the end of October. So that's when we actually booked the villa, and we got it for a really good price. So I was appreciative of that. So we got a real good steal. So let's talk about the culture. First of all, the culture is amazing. The people are so friendly. Oh my God. Every day, whether you're a stranger or not, it was always like, buenos dias. Sorry, I'm going to have to hold my face like this because my nose. It was always like a buenos dias. Hello, mommy, how are you? Like, they really try really hard, like, speaking English, and I, like, really like that. Like, they, you know, they try to be bilingual with you, and they're really friendly there. And, like, the taxi drivers are super, like, efficient, and I love it. So, we had activities planned, but, with those activities, I did request a car. So that way, you know, they could have somebody pick us up. Like, we're new to here. So I would rather them come pick us up and take us to where we need to go. So the taxi drivers, they were really awesome. Like I tipped them really good because they were just like super awesome. And the activities weren't that far. Excuse me. The activities weren't that far from where we were actually going. So they were like, some of them were like 20, maybe 20 to 25 minutes. The horseback riding, that seemed a bit long. That seemed like 30 minutes. I wasn't sure. Like it was on another beach somewhere, but it was beautiful. Um, but the taxi drivers were awesome. There's a whole bunch of them. So, whenever you go to DR, you will never miss a taxi because they're like always there. Like, and sometimes the taxi is the motorbike. Like you, somebody asked us the other day, they said, "Do you want a taxi?" And he had a motorbike. And I'm like, "Oh, no, no, thank you. We're walking." I literally just came back from DR like 3 days ago, I guess today, since it's Sunday now. Um, so, like the other day, I think it was like Monday night or Tuesday night, we were walking to the store and he was like, do you need a taxi? And I was like, "Oh, no, no gracias, no gracias. I'm okay. Thank you." Oh my goodness. I'm like, I'm not getting on the back of those bikes, but they just be riding it like it's natural. Like you would see the ladies. Oh my goodness, I saw this the other day. The one lady was going to work. Like you could tell she was going to work, and she was just chilling on the back of on the back of the bike. She had her nice little blouse on and her skirt. She was chilling on the back there with her little purse. I was like, look at how they just sit there. Like I would be freaked. I'd be holding his waist like that. Like I cannot. But it's part of the culture. It's part of the culture. A lot of them use motorbikes for transportation. Like I literally saw like a lot of women like jump on these bikes. I'm like, okay, girl, I see you. I see you. See, there's a couple of us here in the States that'll jump on a motorcycle and stuff like that. But over there, those women are so dope. Like they're so dope. They just jump on the motorbikes and just be going. I'm like, dang, okay, I see you. Um, but the people are so friendly. And they make me want to go back because they're just so friendly. Like I made so many contacts. I have so many WhatsApps now, with people out there because I built like rapport with them and they're like, "I hope you come back and see us. And, we'll be waiting for you. And, whenever you in town, just hit me up, cause I got the connects now. I got the connects out there. I got like maybe like 7 connects now out there. So, it's easy to build like friendships and relationships. It's just how you treat people basically, just like here. So, I got connects now when I go back for certain things that I want. You know what I mean? So it's a really good rapport with the people. It's just amazing. And they're respectful and things like that. So you guys wouldn't have an issue with, if, oh, I don't know if I will get along. No, they're real cool people. And speaking of that, WhatsApp is something that you should download, as I've learned again from J Rod. Um, Download WhatsApp. I mean, I've had WhatsApp for years, but I never thought I would internationally be traveling anywhere. And WhatsApp actually does, work out there as, pretty much like a communication between you and anybody that's out there. Everybody has a WhatsApp. So make sure you download WhatsApp if you are going internationally, just because you're going to need that. So also, what else? Oh my God, let's talk about I got pulled over by the cops like the second day I was there. Let's talk about that. So I got pulled over by the policia for absolutely no reason. I'm like, oh, he just thinks that because we're American. I know it's like they can smell it on you. It's like they're like, oh, American, let me pull them over. They probably don't got nothing on them, no license, no nothing. Psych! So he pulls us over. And I roll down the window, and the first thing he says is license, registration, and insurance. Same thing here. So I said to him, "Tu habla inglés?" And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay. How can I help you, officer? What's the problem?" He was like, "I just want to see your license, registration, and blah, blah, blah." So I'm like, okay. So I give him all the information he needed. And all he did was look at it, and then he just let us go. I'm like, yo, they really be trying to catch people slipping. They be doing that here too in the States too, especially in my town. They really be trying to catch people slipping. I'm like, that is so crazy that he did that. I'm like, he just knew, he just smelt it. He's like, ooh, American, let me just pull them out. Let's see what they got going on here. So luckily, we was actually going to the grocery store. So luckily, and it was in the morning when it happened. So that was bad. But, luckily he let us go, which was cool. So I can't complain about that. The food. I can't say that I had authentic Dominican food until I went to La Romana to go visit my boyfriend's family. So, his mom made chicken, so pollo, arroz y habichuelas. No gandules. I didn't see any gandules in the rice, just the habichuela. Um, and it was something like I think it was really interesting for me because I remember watching the video with Bad Bunny and El Alfa, and it was based in La Romana, and it looks exactly like what you would see in the video. So I was like, oh my god, this is just like the video. Oh my god, I feel like I'm like in the video right now. So it was pretty cool, and his family was just awesome and so sweet. All of them, I got to meet. He has a new baby niece, so I got to meet the baby. Fine, she was so cute and small. Oh my goodness, her little head and her little hair. Oh my goodness, I couldn't take it. So cute, but it was a good first visit to visit his family, and his mom's cooking. I told her I had to use the Google Translate for her because, unfortunately, like my Spanish is there, but it's like not there. So I used the Google Translate, and I told her I've been waiting months and months and months to taste her cooking because my boyfriend would send me pictures of his plate on WhatsApp, and I'd be like, I want some of that. That's what I want. And I told him, I said, you make sure that your mom cooks for me when I come out there because I need that in my life. And she did, and it was so popping. It was so good. I had like 2 plates. So, the food, like, I didn't really like want to taste like the food, especially because of I don't know. I don't know. I was just a little nervous because I didn't want to go home with like a tummy ache or something. You know what I mean? Because it's like this is a new country for me, and I'm just a little afraid. But I knew his mom's cooking wouldn't do that, so that's why I went ham on his mom's cooking because I knew her cooking wouldn't do that. So, I can say I had authentic Dominican food. Also, my boyfriend cooked some plátano. And believe it or not, they were delicious. I said, look at you knowing how to cook the plátano. So, if anybody's unfamiliar with that, that's the plantains or plantains. Some people call them plantains, plátano, whatever. It looks like a banana. So, it looks like a banana, and you cut it up, and you fry it in some oil. And you can make like a sauce for it. I know one of my close friends, sis, I call her sis, she always made, plátano. And, once it's fried, you just crush it and you go like that. Like you gotta get something hard. You gotta crush it and make it flat. But he made some good plátano. I was like, oh, look at you knowing how to make some plátano. So the food was great. Like I enjoyed it. On my birthday, I went out to the Hard Rock Cafe. And they did have authentic Dominican food, but what did I get? I got something like some seafood something, but that thing was banging. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so delicious. I was like, look at y'all. And they're so accommodating. Like they're really trying their best to learn like English as like a second language over there. Like they are really like ambitious over there. I'll tell you that. They're really ambitious for real. Let's jump into the music, baby, because the music is, I'm all about that music. That music was the bomb. There was literally like a bar, aka a club and bar up the street from where we were staying at. Oh my god, they are so lit. They were so lit. Oh my goodness. And mind you, on these poppy shops, they sell the liquor there. So, everybody be getting drunk, walking on the street. I'm like, dang, yeah, I don't know how to let up for real. They really was partying all night. Like, they had a curfew and everything, and a lot of people still stayed out past the curfew. We didn't do that. We went in, because we couldn't afford us to get a ticket. So we decided to go inside when they called the curfew. So, we didn't really get to see, but when we was coming home, we had seen everybody was going out and having a good time. I'm like, they really be getting lit here. And like I said about the security too, jumping into that again, when you come into the villa where we was staying at, there was a guard there. They'll ask you where you staying at. Like, we got check in there. They speak a little Espanol, a little English. Man, they lift up that thing because they literally have a little post. That's why I said the security is mad deep out there. They got a little post. And what they'll do is they'll check you out. And if they haven't seen you before, they come up to your window, start talking to you, whatever. But if they know that you come in and out and they see you all the time, they just open up this big old long arrow. They just sit there and pull on it and then just lift you right out. And there's 2 stations you got to stop at because there's private parking and then there's, the parking you're supposed to park at. And the security's heavy, man. When we went to Hard Rock Cafe, whoo, there was 2 stops we had to do before we actually got to get in there. So I was like, ew, the security out here is real deep. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. But you know what? I mess with it though, because it's double protection. You know what I mean? So I get it. But also, I want to get into the pesos. So, as I was mentioning earlier, I was so confused about the currency and all the other stuff. So the actual stuff does not cost that much for a steak. Let me just give you an example. We went to the grocery store and bought steak, right? So a steak here for like a juicy like steak here costs about maybe, depending on where you get it, so because ShopRite got like 1 for like $5, but if you get 2, it's like $10. So we're gonna say like $10 to like 15, maybe even more, depending on what kind of beef it is, right? So in the DR, the peso is a lot cheaper, and we actually got 2 juicy steaks for $2, guys, US dollars. It was like 200 and something pesos, and under, like I said, 500 peso is $8. Okay, this steak, and it was so good. I don't know what the guys did up on that grill, but the steak was popping. Okay, we paid $2 in peso, aka US dollars, for that. I was like, no, $2. Oh, we getting 2 of those. So everything, like, there's certain things that are worth the same here in the US dollar. But there, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I looked at these pesos and I was like, nah. So we racked up on so much stuff for the house. It was crazy. Like, our refrigerator was like almost full, full. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, the pesos are awesome out here. Like, it's crazy how that, how that can transpire and happen. But the shopping is not as bad because you'll have, like, if you have 10 US dollars, that is worth like, let me see, like 2,000. 10 US dollars, no, 10 US dollars will probably be 1,000 peso. It's like $10-15 would be like 1,000 peso. 2,000 is like 40 something dollars. And then 5,000 peso is like $100. So it's like, it depends what you want to take out. But what you do want to do, I do recommend this to avoid the 18% fee that they have out there. Take out what you need so that way you don't have to keep going back to the ATM. And I think that's what messed me up a lot, was because I had to keep going back to the ATM. So I would suggest just make sure you take out like J-Rod had mentioned take out like $200. I'll probably say like take out like three, maybe, just to be safe, because there is a lot of gratuities that you're going to have to pay, especially if you have like events that you're going to and you need to pay somebody, tip them. You don't have to, I mean, you don't have to tip them, but it would be nice to tip them because they do such a fantastic job over there. Make sure you have at least like $200 to $300 on you, because them fees add up. I mean, it's only like $5, like maybe $2 here, and it's not like as bad, but if you're like consistently going back to the machine, then it starts to add up. But what else? Oh my god. I can't really say like everything else was just fantastic. The people were great, the culture is great, the security is tight there. They are following CDC guidelines when it comes to the virus. I took my coronavirus test there 2 days before my flight, and my result came back in like a day, and it came back negative, of course, because I'm sitting right here talking to you. So they're following CDC guidelines. There's a lot of people still wearing masks, which is great, but then there's also people who are being negligent and they're not wearing masks, but it's not a lot of them. It depends what area you're going to. Like when we traveled over to La Romana, they did not, oh my goodness, it was just a lot of them were not wearing masks, but that was like on the way home back to the villa. When we were in the car. So we actually saw these people on the street. Like they was having block parties. Like this is like every day. They was having block parties, drinking tequila or whatever they was drinking, Brugal. That's the main drink there. Like a lot of people go for when they come to visit. It's Brugal. I actually got my stepdad a Brugal bottle for them. He said it's like Jack Daniels. So he said you gotta pick a time to drink that. So it was just like a block party happening. Nobody had any mask on. I'm like, ooh, coronavirus. So I guess coronavirus. But they're pretty much, they're really strict on their windows and stuff as, shopping centers and stuff, malls and all that. They do require you to have a mask. They got somebody at the door with the pump for sanitizer and the temperature thing. They stick it right on they stuck it on my wrist. And then they pump you some sanitizer. So they are just as, they're just as efficient as we are over here. But of course, the stragglers over in the town, when we was coming home, they just said whatever. But I mean, we have some here that are like whatever. But it is what it is. But they are really good with their CDC guidelines and following things there. So I am impressed of that. Like they are really impressive over there. And I just love it. I can't wait to go back. I did not want to leave. It was so devastating leaving, especially leaving my boyfriend. Like we literally cried together the night before because we knew that it was going to be a while before I come back to see him. But it was like, now I'm going to jump into him real quick, and then I'll go ahead and wrap up this video because we're like hitting an hour now at this point. So pretty much, it wasn't no different. It was so crazy because it's like you would think that maybe like in person it would be like a little different. It was like, no, it's like we continue our relationship now that we're in person. We're still continuing our relationship how it's supposed to be. So, we got to know each other. I know what he likes to eat. Like we got to know like pretty much like who we are, you know what I mean? Like in person versus over the phone or a video chat. Like that's completely different. So, when we got to see each other, we got to see like, okay, now I know how much of food he likes to eat or like what kind of foods he likes to eat versus that. And like, oh, does he like take long showers, short shower? You know what I mean? Like you get to actually see and interact with him. What does he like? What he doesn't like? Like he's athletic as hell. Like when you look at this guy, first of all, he got an 8-pack going on. I'm like over here flabbing and stuff, like, hey, look at my turkey wing arm. This guy got tight arms and tight stomach. And he's very athletic. Like, he should definitely be a basketball player. He loves basketball. And he should be a basketball player. Like, it's no doubt. He should be a basketball player. Like, his body is, like, built for that. But, I got to see, like, certain things, like I learned that when we went to the beach, like he loves the water. Like he is a water boy. Like he really loves the water. Like when we went to the pool, like he would not leave that pool. When we went to the beach, he would not leave the beach. Like he loved that water. It was raining and that boy, crazy boy, ran out into the rain. I mean, ran out into the ocean, swimming in the water. I'm like, you're crazy if you don't come back here. So it's like, you get to learn your partner a little better when you see them in person. And sometimes for people it doesn't work out. And, that's what you have to do. You have to see them and kind of like be with them to know if this is the right person for you. And honestly, he is definitely, that is my, that is my pain in the butt, but he is definitely the right person for me. He is definitely the right person for me. We connect like yin and yang. And that's what I actually got him before we left. I have a piece of the yin and he has the yang, and together I showed him, I think this is what made him cry, when I showed him that even though you're far away from me and I'm far away from you, together we hold a piece of each other, and together we make, oh, I'm gonna get all emotional, together we make the yin and the yang together, and our pieces connect together to make that yin and yang, because without me I can't be without you. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. So he has that. He has one piece of the necklace. I have the other piece of the necklace, and it's the same thing. It's a matching bracelet. He has the matching one to match his necklace, and I have the matching one to match my necklace. So when you put them together, they're together. So it is so cute. It's so cute. But it was a very good trip. Like this was something that was necessary. And I was saying on my Facebook statuses, like I suggest you guys definitely take at least 2 to 3 vacations in your year. I understand work is important, and it is, but so is your mental health. You can't work if you have no mental health. So, this trip was very great. Like it was popping. Like it was worth every dollar, every cent, every piece of time, the anticipation, jumping on the plane and jumping into this country and experiencing the culture. Like I want to go back. Like it was just an amazing time for me. And I can literally sit here and be like, I had a bomb time there. Like it was so dope. Like I loved it so much. Like I loved it so much. I didn't even want to come home. But my babies are here, so I had to come home. But that place is like definitely a second home. I done made connects there. The culture is like completely how I imagined it being, the music. I listen to the music, same music they listen to, so it's like I'm already connected to them. So that's why I can't wait to go to Puerto Rico too. Puerto Rico is definitely on my radar for sure. A lot of people went to Puerto Rico this year, between this year and the end of last year. But that's definitely on my radar too. So Puerto Rico is my next spot after, I go back here. But it's an experience. I definitely recommend people to go there. I haven't experienced any of the cities or anything besides La Romana, a little bit of La Romana, because I went to go visit specifically my boyfriend's family. So I didn't really go to like Santo Domingo. It was at Sausua, Puerto Plata, all the other cities, but I can imagine like how freaking poppin' those cities are. So I'll probably visit like the next time. I'll probably pick like one, because they are far from each other. Like Santo Domingo from where we stayed in Punta Cana is like 3 hours. I'm not driving 3 hours. I will fall asleep. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. So, I would have to pick like a day where I was like, I would want to drive out there, But it's a beautiful place. I do recommend it to anybody who hasn't gone. Please go. Please go. You're not gonna, no wonder a lot of expats live there, because it's just like the culture is just awesome. Like it's completely awesome. And I can tell who's an expat there too. And I'm like, you're an expat. And they're like, yeah, see. But it's the culture is awesome. Learning the language, honestly, it's really not that hard, especially because you have to speak it a lot sometimes. But I definitely recommend to go to the Dominican Republic as definitely like a place to get away, especially for your mental health. It helped me a lot. I feel so energized and recharged. Like I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready to go. So, I had a really good experience. I wouldn't change it for the world. Even me getting pulled over by the police, yeah. And talking to the security, just to get through to the Hard Rock Cafe. Oh my God. But it was a really good experience. I had a really great trip, and I'm definitely going to be going very soon. I'm going to go back. I'm going back, and that's that. I'm going back. But I'm going to sign off of here. It's about to be like 3 o'clock, no, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I have been on here for a whole hour talking. But if you guys have any questions for me, like anything that I didn't cover in this video, just let me know. Like inbox me, message me at the bottom in the comments, Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And hit that notification bell so that way you can get notifications on my new videos that come up here. I will be dropping new content. I am really like this whole week that I was off, like I have been brainstorming on what to do next. So I will be coming back with a lot of content. Andrea Rose will be opening up in 2 weeks. So look out for those announcements. My social media handles again are in my bio, so make sure you click them. And also what I'll do is I'll tag J-Rod's. If you're interested in going to the Dominican Republic, I will tag J-Rod's YouTube channel at the bottom of this video because he was my guide this whole time as I was waiting and anticipating to go on this trip. That man got me through. Okay, so again, this is your girl Lee with my running behind nose, with my allergies, and my dry ass throat. I am signing off. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I really hope that you guys have a great week, a blessed one, and make sure you take time out for yourself, please.